basis. So situation one, supply involve movement of goods. Up to which time invoice must be issued? Before or at the time of supply. So D of Delhi sold out goods to C of Chennai. D of Delhi sold out goods to C of Chennai. Movement of goods starts on 1st of December. Goods reach ultimate destination on 25th of December. So at what time invoice must be issued, beta? On or before supply. In my example, on or before 1st December. Clear? Situation one is clear?
Yes, sir. The goods premises of sellers.
Sorry?
When the goods leave the premises of
Huh?
seller.
Yes. Premises of seller. When the goods
Yeah.
removed from the premises of seller, on or before that date, invoice must be issued. Second, supply does not involve movement of goods. Situation two, supply does not involve movement of goods. Example, counter sale. Example, counter sale. At what time invoice must be issued? Law says on or before delivery of goods. Invoice must be issued on or before delivery of goods. So situation one, supply involve movement of goods before or at the time of supply. Supply does not involve movement of goods. Example, counter sale on or before delivery of goods. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
C, continuous supply of goods. Continuous supply of goods is that situation where goods is supplied on continuous basis and bill is settled or prepared on a particular time gap period. Where goods are supplied on continuous basis, payment and billing statement is issued on a particular date. Perfect example. Any example, Anushka, Anna? Example of continuous supply of goods? As far as household is concerned, newspaper. As far as household is concerned, newspaper, milk, IGL gas, all these are continuous supply of goods. Getting my point or not? Anushka, Anna, what do you mean by continuous supply of goods? Continuous supply of goods means where goods are supplied on continuous basis or recurrent basis. Example, milk, example, newspaper, example, IGL gas. So when should invoice is issued? Before or at that time when billing statement is issued or date on which payment is received. Whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier. So continuous supply of goods is that situation of law where goods is supplied on continuous basis or on recurrent basis. So when should invoice must be issued? Before or at the time when billing statement is issued or date on which payment is received. For example, newspaper is continuous supply during the month of November. Billing statement is issued on 5th of December and payment is received on 9th of December. On 5th of December and payment is received on 9th of December. So on December. Invoice must be issued on or before 5th of December. Clear? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Say yes or no, beta.
Yes, sir.
D. Goods sent on approval. Goods sent on approval basis. When invoice must be issued. Now, when it must be issued. Date on which buyer signifies his approval. जिस दिन buyer अपनी approval दे दे और 6 month from the date of removal of goods, whichever is earlier. So this one is situation number 4. Goods sent on approval basis when invoice should have been issued. Date 1, date on which buyer signifies his approval. Date 2, 6 months from the date of removal of goods. 6 months from the date of removal of goods, whichever is earlier. Clear? Shall I move on?
Yes.
Last. Goods covered under reverse charge mechanism. Goods covered under reverse charge mechanism when invoice should be issued. When invoice should be issued before or at the time of receipt of goods by buyer. So these are the 5 situations in case of goods when invoice should have been issued. Before considering time of supply, we have to consider when invoice regarding goods should have been issued. We have the only 5 situation. Number 1, supply involve movement of goods before or at the time of supply. Supply does not involve movement of goods before or at the time of delivery of goods. Continuous supply of goods before or at the time when billing statement is issued or date on which payment is received, whichever is earlier. Point number 4, goods sent on approval basis, the day on which buyer signifies his approval or 6 months from the date of removal, whichever is earlier. And last, goods sent on approval basis before or at the time when buyer receives the goods. Am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes, yes, sir.
Example. Let us understand all this situation with the help of example. Example number 1, X Limited of Delhi sold certain goods to Y Limited Chennai. Date on which agreement is entered into. Let us say 1st July 2023. Date on which X Limited is supplier, Y Limited is buyer. Date on which X Limited start production. 10th July 2023. Date on which goods are ready for dispatch. 2023. Date on which goods are actually dispatched. 18th July 2023. Date on which buyer received the goods. Date on which buyer received the goods. Let us say 10th August 2023. This one is the question. Determine the maximum time up to which invoice must be issued. X Limited of Delhi is the supplier. He has to sold certain goods to Y Limited of Chennai. Y Limited is buyer. Date on which agreement is entered into 1st July 2023. Date on which X Limited start production regarding this contract 10th July 2023. Date on which goods are ready for dispatch 15th July. Goods actually dispatched 18th July. Goods raised to buyer on 10th of August. Determine the maximum time up to which invoice must be issued. Any idea? Just write down your answer in chat box. Invoice must be issued under section 31. Section of invoice is 31. Any idea, beta? One person says 18th July. Remaining. Answer is invoice must be issued. Invoice must be issued on or before supply of goods. When the goods are actually being supplied, 18th July. So date up to which invoice must be issued on 18th July 2023. This is the date up to which invoice should have been issued. This is the date up to which invoice should have been issued. Anushka got it, beta? Not 10th of August, before the time of delivery. Chalo. Example 2. What would be your answer in example 1 if goods are covered under RCM? In case of RCM, buyer is liable to pay tax. So just write down your answer in chat box. When should invoice be issued if goods are covered under RCM? Make it fast, beta. 10th August. एक आंसर. अन्ना, संजय, अमन. So in case of RCM, law says invoice must be issued before or at the time of receipt of goods by buyer. Buyer received the goods on 10th August. So date up to which invoice must be issued. Date up to which invoice must be issued is date on which buyer received the goods. 10th August 2023. Clear? Shall I move on? Example 3. X limited, Y limited. X limited sent certain goods on approval basis. Date of removal of goods. Let us say 1st January 2023. Date on which buyer signifies his approval. Case A, 10th April 2023. Case B, 10th June 2023. Case C, 25th July. These are the separate cases. Case D, 10th November 2023. Determine in each case maximum time up to which invoice must be issued. Determine in each case separately up to which invoice must be issued. Or shall I do it for you? Aman, Anushka, Anna, Sanjay?
टाइम ये वाला करा
टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई के लिए बेटा इनवाइस करवा रहा हूँ पहले, उसका बेस है, थोड़ा टाइम से आना था, तेरा निकल गया है, फिर तुझे दिक्कत आएगी नालायक। टाइम से क्यों नहीं करा? हम्म।
जी, थोड़ा लेट हो गया।
चलो, वी हैव 4 independent cases. Case A, case B, C, D. What is the law regarding in issue of invoice when goods are sent on approval? Date on which buyer signifies his approval, or 6 months from the date of removal of goods, whichever is
अर्लियर
earlier. So when buyer signifies his approval in case 1, 10th April, 6 months from the date of removal of goods. Goods is removed on 1st January, 6 month, 30th June, whichever is earlier. So invoice must be issued on or before 10th April. Case 2. Buyer signifies his approval on 10th June. 6 months from the date of removal, 30th June. Whichever is earlier, 10th June. Case C. Buyer signifies his approval 25th July. 6 months ends on 30th June. Whichever is earlier, 30th June. Case 4. 10th November. 6 months ends on 30th June. Whichever is earlier, 30th June. Cleared or not? Cleared or not? Shall I move on? Hmm. So as far as goods is concerned, so what is the time limit for issue of invoice? We have maximum 5 situations. Number 1, supply involve movement of goods. Invoice must be issued before or at the time of supply. Number 2, supply does not involve movement of goods. Invoice must be issued on or before delivery of goods. Continuous supply of goods before or at the time when billing statement is issued, or date on which payment is received, whichever is earlier. Case 4. When goods are sent on approval basis, the day on which buyer signifies his approval, or 6 months from the date of removal of goods, whichever is earlier. And last situation is when goods are covered under RCM. Invoice must be issued before or at the time of receipt of goods by buyer. Clear? Shall I move on?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now time period for issue of invoice regarding services. Time period for issue of invoice regarding services. So again, situation. For issue of invoice. Any idea? Time period regarding of invoice for service. Any idea? Services provided by bank, financial institution, NBFCs, and insurance company. What is the time period for issue of invoice? No idea. 45 days from the date of provision of service. Provision of service means completion of service. Provision of service means completion of service. Any other service other than these four: bank, financial institution, NBFC, and insurance. Any other services like my services, CA in practice, like my services, coaching, doctor, engineer services within 30 days. Invoice must be issued within 30 days from the date of provision of service. Provision of service means completion of service. So as far as goods are concerned, invoice must be issued immediate at the time of supply. As far as services are concerned, beta, you have ample time. Regarding bank, financial institution, NBFC, and insurance services, you can raise the invoice in 45 days. In other services, beta, regarding other services, invoice must be issued within 30 days. Third, services covered under reverse charge. What should be the law? What should be the law? Invoice must be issued on or before receipt of services. Clear? Fourth, continuous supply of services. Continuous supply of services. Services whose tenure is more than 3 months. Services whose tenure is more than 3 months is known as continuous supply of service. Services whose tenure more than 3 months. It may be a contract construction service. Every service whose tenure is more than 3 months is known as continuous supply of service. Is my services to you is continuous supply of service?
Of
It's
course, sir.
no. Why not? It's only of 5. Had it been for month, and
It's probably
to continue services whose tenure is more than 3 months is like service. Perfect. I am constructing for you, but it will take a ample time. So as far as services are concerned, law is of is a certain from contract. Case B, due date of payment is not ascertainable. And case C, due date of payment is based upon completion of an event. So, beta, supply of services are concerned, continuous supply of services are concerned, you have three. First, you have to check it is ascertainable, due date ascertainable from contract, ascertainable from a contract. And case C, due date of based upon completion of an event. Due date is ascertainable. An example, Shanta? Like in contract, like in work contract service, it is specified that payment shall be paid by client by 10th of each quarter. If contracts specified such type of clause that client will pay in every quarter by 10th of next month, it means due date is ascertainable. If such date is specified, payment is not ascertainable from contract. And number third, due date of payment is based upon completion of one contract. 20% payment will be released after completion of first floor. Remaining 10% payment will be released by client after flooring work. Remaining 5% beta work payment will be released after plaster. Remaining 20% payment will be released after completion of second floor and so on. It is based on completion of an event. Am I making sense?
Yes,
Good.
sir.
So invoice must be issued. Any idea? Where due date of payment is ascertainable from contract. Shanta, any idea? Anushka, any idea? Date invoice must be issued.
The due date.
Perfect. Perfect. On or before due date of payment. On or before due date of payment. Situation where the due date of payment is ascertainable on or before. Any idea?
No, sir.
On or before the date on which payment is actually received. On or before the date on which payment is actually received. Third and last, where due date of payment is based upon completion of an event. Any idea? Invoice must be issued on or before.
Completion of the event.
Perfect. Perfect. So what do you mean by continuous supply of services? Every service's tenure is more than 3 months is known as continuous supply of service. Example, work contract service. Example, coaching service if tenure is more than 3 months, or any other service like AMC is the perfect example. Annual maintenance charges जो होते हैं, AMC is the perfect example of continuous supply of services. You have to check whether due date of payment is ascertainable or due date of payment is not ascertainable or due date is based upon completion of an event. If due date is ascertainable, invoice must be issued on or before due date. If due date is not ascertainable, invoice must be issued on or before date on which payment is actually received. If due date of payment is based upon completion of an event, on or before completion of an event. Any idea? Any query? Shall I move on?
Yes, sir.
Last case, beta. Supply of services ceases. This one is case number 5. Supply of services ceases. Ceases means
Ceases
end
means
होना,
hand होना.
खत्म होना. Before completion.
Services.
Supply of services ceases before completion. Example, I have to construct a 4-floor building for you, multi-story building for you. After completion of first floor, contract is terminated in between. I have to take your 5 days classes, but after completion of 2 days, I had terminated the contract for any reason. So this one is the case. Supply of services ceases before completion. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
So invoice must be issued on or before the date on which services ceases. So this one is the maximum permutation or combination of services when invoice should have been issued. Just repeat it again, beta, make it fast. Number one, bank, financial institution, NBFC and insurance. Invoice must be issued maximum within 45 days. Any other services invoice must be issued within 30 days.
30 days.
In case of RCM, invoice must be issued on or before the date on which recipient received the services. Next, beta, आपका साहब, continuous supply of services, payment is ascertainable, due date is ascertainable, on or before due date. Due date is not ascertainable on or before the date on which payment is received, and payment is based upon completion of an event on or before completion of an event. And termination of services in between contract, beta, the day on which a contract terminate on or before that date. So this
Sir,
is the
I have a
maximum.
question.
Please.
This regarding RCM, sir. The last date is invoice must be issued on or before receipt of
On or before
services.
receipt of service.
But actually, after rendering the service, we will give an invoice and then we will
I will let you know.
generate
I will
this.
let you know detail in discussion with the help of an example.
Okay,
For
sir.
example, uh, service provider, just write it down, is X Limited, is rendering taxable services to Y Limited. So X is the service provider, Y Limited is the service recipient. Now listen me carefully. Let us say value of service 10 lakh. GST 18%. Services are covered under RCM. So this one is the case study. Service provider X Limited, service recipient Y Limited, rendered taxable services, value of service 10 lakh, GST 18%, total comes to 11 lakh 80,000. My question number one to you, who is liable to pay tax? Liable to pay tax? X or Y?
Why?
Y.
Why?
In case of RCM, recipient will pay tax.
Yes, sir.
What is the mode of payment? Can he use ITC? What is the
No,
mode of payment of tax? Can he use
cash.
ITC, or tax shall be paid only through cash? What is the mode of payment? Any idea?
It is cash, sir.
Cash
Other
only.
than ITC.
RCM liability shall be paid in cash only. अमन समझ में आ रहा है बेटा? अमन, अनुष्का, गुड. My third question, in whose turnover such 10 lakh shall be taken into consideration? In whose turnover such 10 lakh shall be taken into consideration? In the turnover of X or in the turnover of Y? Any idea? In whose turnover such 10 lakh shall be taken into consideration? In whose turnover such 10 lakh shall be taken into consideration? Any idea?
Why, sir? Recipient?
X, supplier. Turnover is of supplier. Tax will be paid by recipient. Minded my words. Turnover is of supplier, but tax will be paid by recipient. I am again repeating. Turnover is of supplier, but tax is paid by recipient. Am I clear? Am I clear? Good. And last question, an important question. Highlight the question. Who issues the tax invoice in case of RCM? This is the most important question, not only from exam point of view, but as far as practical life is concerned. Who issues the tax invoice in case of RCM? Anushka. Two interpretations are there. X Limited will issue the invoice, but tax will be paid by Y Limited. Interpretation 1. X Limited will issue the invoice and tax for the same will be paid by Y Limited. This one is interpretation 1. Interpretation 2. Y Limited itself will issue the invoice and tax also paid by Y Limited. इनवाइस एक्स इशू करेगा पर टैक्स वाई पे करेगा. इंटरप्रिटेशन 1. इंटरप्रिटेशन 2. इनवाइस भी वाई लिमिटेड इशू करेगा एंड टैक्स भी वाई लिमिटेड पे करेगा. एनी आइडिया? एनी आइडिया? It depends. If supplier is GST registered, then supplier will issue the invoice. If supplier is GST registered, then supplier will issue the invoice. If supplier is unregistered, then recipient will issue the invoice. This is one of the most important phase, one important question, not only from exam point of view, but also from practical life beta. If supplier is GST registered, if X Limited is GST registered in my example, then invoice will be issued by X Limited and tax will be paid by Y Limited. On the other hand, if X Limited is unregistered, then invoice will be issued by Y Limited and tax also be paid by Y Limited. Am I clear? Am I clear? Am I clear? Good. In RCM, only those situations would be covered. Invoice is issued by where invoice is issued by recipient. If supplier has to issue the invoice, if supplier has to issue the invoice, then in that case, it would be covered under these two situations. Even if there is RCM, but supplier has to issue the invoice, then it would be covered under these two situations. Am I clear or not? This is the whole crux of RCM. This is the whole crux of RCM. So we have considered the maximum time up to which invoice must be issued as per section 31. Now we will proceed further towards time of supply. Shall we start? Shall we start the concept of time of supply? Good. Now, time of supply. What is the meaning of time of supply? What is the meaning of time of supply? Time of supply means abbreviated as TOS. What is the meaning of time of supply? Any idea? What is the literal meaning of time of supply?
When the goods and services are supplied?
No, 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 no. When liability to pay GST arises. When liability to pay GST arises. When liability to pay GST arises, let's the help of an example. I started my coaching classes on 26th of November. It will be finished by 30th of November. Say for example, starting date 26th of November, ending date 30th of November. Thereafter, beta, I will raise invoice within 30 days to ICSI. My services is coaching services, beta. So my maximum time is 30 days. In that time, I will issue invoice to beta ICSI. After that, ICSI will make payment to me. At what point of time my liability to pay GST arises? Is at that time when my batch started? Is at that time when my batch finished? Is at that time when I issue the invoice? Is at that time when I beta receive the payment? Is at that time when beta Diwali, when there is Dashera, when there is Holi, when there is Pongal? When liability to pay GST arise? This is the chapter time of supply. Are you able to understand or not? What we have discussed earlier is the time of invoice. When invoice should have been issued. Now I am discussing when liability to pay GST arise. In my example, when my batch started, case 1, when my batch completed case 2, case 3, when I issue the invoice, case 4, when I receive the payment, case 5th or any other date. At what time my liability to pay GST arises, it will be determined with the help of time of supply. We have to study two sections in time of supply. TOS means time of supply. Section 12, section 30. Section 12 is the time of supply of goods. And section 13 is the time of supply of services. So shall we start? Time of supply of goods. Section 12. We have section, let's take section 12 subsection 1. It says GST on goods shall arise. GST on goods, GST liability on goods shall arise at the time of supply to be determined as per section 12. Section 12 one says GST liability तब आएगी उसका टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई आएगा. गुड्स के ऊपर GST liability तब आएगी उसका टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई आएगा और टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई डिटरमाइन होगा एज पर सेक्शन 12. GST liability on goods arises when at the time of supply to be determined as per section 12. Clear? Section 12 time of goods RC because for so other than maybe and three type of situation when the goods are covered under forward charge. Number two, continuous supply of goods. Number third, goods sent on approval. So what is the time of supply? The time of supply list of issue advance on 10th August, 70% after delivery. That is on 5th September 2023. Determine time of supply. Three marks. Let us say 3 marks. You want to try, beta? I am repeating the question. X Limited is the supplier sold certain goods to Y Limited buyer. Goods are to be delivered at buyer premises. Date on which supplier removed the goods 15th of August. Date on which supplier actually issued the invoice 20th of August. Date on which buyer received the goods 30th of August. Date on which buyer made the payment. Payment is made in 2 installment. 30% advance on 10th of August, 70% after completion of work, that is on 5th September. Determine time of supply. Determine time of supply. अमन क्वेश्चन समझ में आया बेटा?
हाँ जी.
कोशिश कर बेटा. Anushka, have you understand the question or not? 15/8/2023 is the time of supply. Just let me check. So what is the time of supply? Law says date on which supplier issue the invoice. What is that date? What is that date? 28 2023. And number 2, last date up to which invoice must be issued under section 31. Invoice must be issued before or at the time of supply. Invoice must be issued before or at that supply, that is 15/8/2023. Whichever is earlier. Payment shall have no relevance. Payment shall have no relevance. So time of supply is 15/8/2023. Time of supply is 15/8/2023. Remaining all beta. Any query? Anna, Anushka, Sanjay, Aman. Any query beta? Just hold on. Done? Shall I move on?
Yes.
Good. Take another example. X Limited Y Limited. Supplier, recipient. X Limited send goods on approval basis. Date of removal of goods by X Limited, 1st January 2023. Date on which Y Limited signifies his approval. 15th April 2023. Date on which X Limited issue the invoice. 10th July 2023. Date on which Y Limited made the payment. 20th June. Determine time of supply. Technical question है बेटा. Write down your answer in chat box. I want to see what is your answer. This one is most technical question. Fifteenth April 23. Remaining Aman, Anushka, Hanna. It's 15th April. Sure. What is the time of supply? Date on which supplier issue the invoice. Supplier issue the invoice on 10th July 2023. Compared it with the last date up to which invoice must be issued under section 31. What is the last date, beta? What is the last date, Santa? 6
30th
months.
June.
No, wait.
30th June.
What is the low? 6 months from the date of removal. 6 months from the date of removal is 30th June 2023, or date on which buyer signifies his approval. Buyer signifies his approval on 15th of April, whichever is earlier. That comes to 15th of April. So this one is A, this one is B. So time of supply, A or B, whichever is earlier. Am I right now? A or B, whichever is earlier, comes to 15th of. So that's why I'm saying before doing time of supply, you will have to consider section 31 also.
But sir, if the invoice is issued on 10th/4, because
If invoice
in
is
our
issued
case,
on
10th
10th
April.
April,
Yeah. Yeah.
earlier of these two date is the last date up to which invoice must be issued. And
Okay.
time of
Okay.
supply is a date of invoice or last date up to which invoice must be issued, whichever is earlier.
Okay. Okay.
If instead of 10th May, 10th April is the date on which supplier issue the invoice, then whichever is earlier would be 10th of April.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
So this one is 15.2. Time of supply of goods covered under forward charge, continuous supply of goods or goods sent on approval. What is the time of supply? Date on which supplier issue the invoice or last date up to which invoice must be issued under section 31, whichever is earlier. Shall I move on or you want to do more practice? What should I do, beta? Shall I move on or you want to do more practice? Yes means what, Anushka, beta? Move on or more practice on this concept? Move on. Next. Section 12, subsection 3. Time of supply of goods covered under RCM. Time of supply of goods covered under RCM. Date. Time of supply is equal to. Time of supply is equal to number 1, date on which buyer received the goods or date on which buyer made the payment. Date on which buyer made the payment or invoice date plus 31 days. 31 दिन. Law says 31st day from the date of invoice. In rough language, invoice date plus 31 days. Law says 31st day from the date of issue of invoice. So whichever is earlier, whichever is earlier is the time of supply. What is the time of supply? Date on which buyer received the goods. Number 2, date on which buyer made the payment. Number 3, invoice date plus 31st day. Whichever is earlier is the time of supply. Whichever is earlier is the time of supply. Important note. In case of 12.2, date of payment is not relevant. But in case of 12/3, date of payment is relevant. In case of 12/2, you have seen beta, date of payment is not relevant. But in case of 12/3, date of payment is relevant. Important note. In case of section 12.2, date of payment is not relevant, while in case of 12.3, date of payment is relevant. Are you comfortable with this concept, beta? So now let us discuss with the help of an example. Example. X Limited sold certain goods to Y Limited. X is the seller, Y is the buyer. Such goods are covered under RCM. Who is liable to pay? Y is liable to pay GST. So we will be considering the time of supply of Y. Y is liable to pay GST. So we are considering the time of supply of Y. So date on which X Limited dispatch the goods. July 2023. Date of issue of invoice. Let us say 1st July 2023. Date on which buyer received the goods. July 25th, 2023. Date on which buyer made the payment. Thus, of supply. Number third, due date of payment of tax. One mark, 3 marks, 1 mark. Total 5 marks. Write down your answer in chat box. 1 marks, 3 marks, 1 mark. 5 marks question. अमन क्वेश्चन समझ में आया बेटा?
जी
गुड, ट्राई कर बेटा. Y limited 25/07/23. Due date is 20th August. Now, first, who will pay GST? Recipient, that is Y limited will pay GST. Second, time of supply RCM. What is the law? Date of receipt of goods by buyer. Buyer received the goods on 25/7/2023. Date on which buyer made the payment. Buyer made the payment on 10/8/2023 and invoice date plus 31 days. Invoice date is 1st July plus 31 day. It comes to 1st August.
सर 2 अगस्त
2nd अगस्त नहीं, जुलाई में कितने दिन होते हैं बेटा?
31 तक।
जुलाई में 31 होते हैं ना, तो 30 दिन तो जुलाई में आ गए। 31 तक 1 तारीख तो बनेगा बेटा। अमन, एक ही तो बनेगी,
हाँ जी।
है ना? So whichever is earlier, this one is 25/7/2023 and due date of payment is 20th of next month. Due date of payment is 20th of next month, 28/2023. Perfect reply, Shanta Murthy. Perfect. Any query? Any query in RCM? अमन, कोई भी दिक्कत बेटा?
नहीं सर।
My question to you, when a payment shall deem to have been paid? When it is entered in books of account or when it is debited from my bank account? When a payment is deemed to have been made. I gave a check of rupee 5 lakh. Today is 29th. On 29th November, I gave a check of rupee 5 lakh to you. Payment is entered in books of account, but check actually realized on 5th of December. Payment is actually debited on 5th of December. When payment is deemed to have been made? The day on which payment is entered
सर
in books of
29
account or the day on which payment is debited from bank account, or whichever is earlier or whichever is later. Any idea?
सर whichever is earlier सर।
Answer is whichever is earlier. Just write down
29
Write down. Important note. Date of receipt of payment. Date on which payment is made. So what is the date of receipt of payment? Date on which payment is recorded in books of account, or date on which payment is credited in bank account, whichever is earlier. Date on which payment is recorded in books of account, or date on which payment is credited in bank account, whichever is earlier. Here, what should be the law? Date on which, Aman, help kar beta.
Date on which payment
Payment is recorded in books of account,
to
or
accounts.
date
Date on
on
which
which
payment is debited,
debited.
whichever is earlier.
Payment is debited in bank account, whichever is earlier. Comfortable? Anushka, comfortable beta? Example. Now again, one more practice for you. X limited, Y limited. X is the seller, Y is the buyer. Goods are sent on, goods sold, covered under RCM. Date on which X limited dispatch the goods. First March 2023. Date of invoice. Fifth March 2023. Date on which Y limited received the goods. 25th April. Date on which Y limited entered the payment in books of account. 23rd April. Date on which payment is actually debited. 27th April. Determine. Number 1. Who will pay GST? Number 2. Mode of payment of GST. Number 3. Time of supply. Number 4. Due date of payment of tax. 1 marks each. In fact, 1 mark, 2 marks, 1 mark. 5 mark question, 5 minutes given to you. 5 marks question, beta. Good. Remaining beta, what is your answer? Write down in chat box. Anushka, Anna, Aman, ट्राई कर रहा है बेटा या नहीं कर रहा? Who will pay GST in case of RCM?
Sir, Y limited.
Recipient, that is Y limited. What is the mode of payment beta? RCM payment shall always be paid through cash. ITC cannot be utilized. What is the time of supply of RCM? First write down the law. First write down the law. What is the law? Number one, date on which buyer received the goods. What is that date? 25th April. Am I right? Number two, date on which buyer made the payment. Now, payment recorded. Payment record date 23rd April. Payment debited. Payment debited 27th April. Whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier is 23rd April. Am I clear now? And third, invoice date plus 31 days. What is my invoice date? 5th of March plus 31 day. 31 और 5 36 out of 36 means 6th of next month 31 गया 5th April, right? Whichever is earlier of 1 2 and 3, it comes to 5th April 2023. So time of supply is 5th April 2023 and due date 20th of next month. Due date of payment 20th of next month. So this is the whole crux of 12.3 time of supply RCM finished from my side. Any query from your side one by one? Any query from your side? So we have considered 12.1 time of supply of goods. Liability shall arise as and when time of supply arise. 12.2 time of supply goods forward charge. It says date up to which invoice is issued, last date up to which invoice must be issued, whichever is earlier. Time of supply RCE M, date on which beta recipient received the goods, date on which recipient made the payment, or invoice plus 31st day. Any query beta? Any query?
No, sir.
Shall I move on? Now,
Yes.
12.4 time of supply of goods voucher. Raymond voucher, Sudoxo voucher, Big Bazaar voucher. You have to check. Supply is identifiable. Voucher supply is identifiable. Voucher supply is not identifiable. If the supply is identifiable, date on which supplier issue the voucher. If supply is identifiable, then time of supply is the date on which supplier issue the voucher. If the supply is not identifiable, time of supply, date on which buyer redeem the voucher. If supply is identifiable, then time of supply is the date on which voucher is issued. If supply is not identifiable, then time of supply is the date on which buyer redeem the voucher. We'll explain with the help of an example. Just write it down. Voucher, Sudoku voucher, Big Bazaar voucher, any other voucher, beta. Raymond's voucher. Have you heard this concept, voucher? Have you heard this concept, beta?
Yes, sir.
Good, 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 good. So if the supply is identifiable, then the date on which supplier issues the voucher. If the supply is not identifiable, then the date on which buyer redeem the voucher. Let us understand with the help of an example. Supplier is, let us say, Reebok shoe. Buyer is Atlas company. Buyer purchase 1,000 voucher for his employees as Diwali gift. Reebok shoe issue the voucher. Buyer Atlas company purchased 1,000 voucher for his employees on Diwali gift. This voucher can be used. This voucher can be used only against shoe only. This voucher can be used only against shoe only. It cannot be used in textile article like Reebok tracksuit is there. Reebok sports accessories are there, but it cannot be used there. It can be used only and only against shoe. Can I say that supply is identifiable? Can I say that supply is identifiable?
Yes, sir.
Good. So date on which Reebok issue the voucher is 28th November 2023. Date on which buyer redeem the voucher 500 worker on 5th December, 300 worker
300
on
on
10th January, remaining 200 worker on 15th February. Determine time of supply if supply is identifiable. Reebok Limited issue 1000 voucher to Atlas Company. This voucher can be used only and only towards purchase of shoe only. It cannot be used elsewhere. It cannot be used in purchase of tracksuit. It cannot be used in sports accessories. It cannot be used elsewhere. It can be used only and only towards purchase of shoe only. It means supply is identifiable. So what is the time of supply? Anushka, what is the time of supply? Aman, क्या होगी बेटा टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई?
The date on which supplier issue the voucher, sir, 28 तारीख.
Time of supply
Date on which supplier issue the voucher, sir.
as supply is identifiable.
Identifiable.
Therefore, time of supply
Date on
shall
which
be
supplier
the
issue the
date on which supplier
issue the voucher.
issue the voucher.
That
That
is
is
20th August.
that
28th
is
November.
28 नवंबर 2023. For entire 1000 voucher, time of supply shall be 28 नवंबर 2023. For entire 1000 voucher, time of supply shall be 28th November 2023. Clear? Clear?
Sir, sir, the supply identifiable means we should be able to identify the goods, or what exactly is that?
Exactly. Where this voucher can be redeemed. This voucher can be redeemed only and only for shoe. It means supply is identifiable. If I say that this voucher can be used elsewhere, you can buy tracksuit, you can buy bag, you can buy sports accessory, you can buy shoe, you can buy sandal, you can buy any other article of in Reebok outlet, then it means supply is not identifiable. Fine. Suppose you have purchased the voucher of Big Bazaar. In Big Bazaar, lots of goods are there. You can use the voucher towards purchase of any article. It means supply is not identifiable. At the time of issue, you don't know where buyer used such voucher. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good.
Yeah.
So, what would be your answer in above example if supply is not identifiable? Assume supply is not identifiable. हमें नहीं पता buyer इसको कहाँ use करेगा. We don't know where buyer will use such voucher. He may be used for purchases of tracksuit. He may be used for purchases of another garment. He may be used for purchases of sports article. He may be used for purchase of sports equipment, any article, beta. Here, supply is not identifiable. So what is the time of supply? Aman,
The date on which buyer redeem the voucher.
तो इस केस में कितने टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई आएंगे? 3 अलग अलग
हाँ
डेट
जी.
पे वाउचर रिडीम हुए ना बेटा?
हाँ जी, 5 तारीख, 10 तारीख, 15 तारीख. 5 12 10 1 5
तो
15
लिखो
2.
बेटा टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई, डेट ऑन विच buyer
Redeem.
redeem the voucher. That is regarding 500 worker, time of supply 5 December. Regarding 300 worker, time of supply 10th January. regarding 200 worker, time of supply 15th of February. This one is 12/4. Shall I move on? This is the whole crux of 12/4, time of supply of voucher. Next, 12/5, time of supply in residuary cases. Residuary cases means malified cases. Raid cases, search and seizure cases, it would be covered here. Fraud cases, malified cases, you have to check. Periodical return filed, periodical return not filed. सपोज बेटा मेरे यहाँ पर रेड पड़ी दिसंबर में, अप्रैल की बेटा कोई लाइबिलिटी पकड़ में आ गई, December 23rd, beta department conduct a raid on me. They found GST liability of April 2023. Raid is conducted on December 2023. They found GST liability of April 2023, May 2023. You have to check whether SSC periodical return is filing or periodical return not filed. If periodical return is filed, then time of supply would be due date of filing of return. Where periodical return file is due date of filing of return. Periodical return is not filed. Then time of supply would be date on which, या date of payment of tax. जिस दिन टैक्स वो देगा उसी दिन टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई मान लेंगे. The day on which raid accused will pay tax, that date shall deem to be time of supply. So not so important from exam point of view. Time of supply in residuary cases, periodical return filed, periodical return not filed. If periodical return filed, time of supply, due date of filing of return or date of payment of tax or due date of filing of return. If periodical return not filed, then time of supply, date of payment of tax. Shall I move on?
Yes, sir.
Shall I move on?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Last section of goods. Time of supply in case of addition in value. What do you mean by addition in value, beta? Any idea what do you mean by addition in value? Interest on late payment, penalty on late payment, etc. If buyer not made the payment within prescribed period, example 1 month, then supplier will charge interest with the so and so rate. Supplier will charge penalty with so and so amount. These amounts are known as addition in value. So whatever extra amount is recovered from buyer, this amount is known as addition in value. Whatever extra amount is recovered from buyer, this amount is known as addition in value. Perfect example, interest on delayed payment, penalty on delayed payment. So what should be the time of supply? When such payment is actually received. Over and out. So time of supply in case of addition in value. What is addition in value? Or amount over and above received by supplier. It may be interest on late payment. It may be penalty on late payment. Time of supply when such payment is actually received. So this is the whole crux of time of supply of goods. Make the notes precisely. Crux. Section. Situation. Time of supply. Just write down beta. Situation. Section 12(2). Time of supply goods. Forward charge. What is the time of supply? Date on which invoice is actually issued, or last date up to which invoice must be issued, whichever is earlier. It is not only covered FCM, it is also covered goods sent on approval. It is also covered continuous supply of goods. This is the crux of 12(2). What is 12(3)? Time of supply goods, RCM. लिख लिया बेटा ये? Written or not? Time of supply goods, RCM. Date on which buyer received the goods, or date on which payment is entered in books of account. BOA means books of account, or date on which payment is debited from bank account, or invoice date plus 31 days. Whichever is earlier. Actually, these 2 days are nothing. These 2 days are nothing but the date on which payment is made. लिख लिया बेटा अमन?
बस एक मिनट लिख रहा हूँ सर।
लिख ले, बता देना जब लिख ले बेटा।
हो गया सर।
लिख लिया।
जी।
12/4 टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई वाउचर, so supply identifiable, time of supply, participate in the class beta, date of issue of voucher, supply not identifiable, date on which voucher is redeemed. This is the 12/4, 12/5 residuary cases. In case of residuary cases, you have to check periodical return filed, then due date of filing of return. Return not filed, date of payment of tax. Last 12/6 time of supply of addition in value. What is the time of supply? Date on which amount is actually received. This is the whole crux of time of supply of goods. Now moving towards time of supply of service. Any question in time of supply of goods? Shanta, are you comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Shall I move on or what?
Please carry on, sir.
Carry on.
Thank you.
So finally, time of supply of services. Section 13. 13(1) is nothing, it's a basic section. Time of supply of service. In fact, liability to pay GST. Liability to pay GST on services shall arise at the time of supply to be determined as per section 13. Just like section 12(1). 12(1) says goods का time of supply तब आए, goods की liability तब आएगी जब उसका time of supply आएगा. सेक्शन 13 से सर्विसेज की जीएसटी लाइबिलिटी तब आएगी जब उसका टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई आएगा. टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई निकालेंगे कैसे, वो है मेन बात, वो निकालते हैं. करें सेक्शन 13(2), टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई सर्विसेज फॉरवर्ड चार्ज. Just focused for 5 minutes. You have to check whether invoice is issued within prescribed time. Invoice issued within prescribed time. What is prescribed time? 45 days or 30 days as the case may be. For bank, financial institution, NBFC and insurance, prescribed time is 45 days. For other services, prescribed time is 30 days from the date of provision of service. Provision of service means completion of service. So invoice issued within prescribed time or invoice issued after prescribed time. If invoice is issued within prescribed time, then date of invoice, abbreviated as DOI, or date of receipt of payment, abbreviated as DOP, whichever is earlier, is the time of supply. So date of invoice or date of payment, whichever is earlier, is the time of supply, where invoice is issued within prescribed time. If invoice is not issued within prescribed time, so date of provision of service, provision means completion, or date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier, is the date on which time of supply arises. Is the date on which time of supply arises. And what is the prescribed time? Aman, prescribed time bata beta. Aman, what is the prescribed time?
सर 45 days FI
No.
NBFC का और अदर्स का 30 days.
Good. You have to check whether invoice is issued within prescribed time or invoice is not issued within prescribed time. If invoice is issued within prescribed time, then date of invoice or date of payment, whichever is earlier. If invoice is not issued within prescribed time, then date of provision of service or date of payment, whichever is earlier. One important note, जितनी पेमेंट होंगी टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई उतने आएंगे. Time of supply is depend upon each and every installment of payment. Let us understand with the help of an example. Time of supply is depend upon each and every installment of payment. Let us understand with the help of an example. Example 1. Date of provision of service. If question is not specified the name of service, always consider 30 days. If question not specified the name of service, always consider 30 days. So date of provision of service, let us say 1st July 2023. Date of invoice, 15th जुलाई। अमन प्रिस्क्राइब टाइम में है, आफ्टर प्रिस्क्राइब टाइम है?
सर ये क्या नाम है, प्रिस्क्राइब टाइम है सर।
प्रिस्क्राइब टाइम। डेट ऑफ पेमेंट 30% ऑन 25th जून, 35% ऑन 10th जुलाई, and remaining how much? 35% on 1/8/2023. Determine time of supply. Write down the answer in your chat box. Time is running out. I will do it for you, beta. As invoice is issued within prescribed time, therefore time of supply shall be date of invoice or date of payment, whichever is earlier. Lower sign means earlier. So 30%, 35%, 35%. What is the date of invoice? What is the date of invoice?
15th July.
जुलाई सर।
15th July. What is the date of payment?
25/6,
25/6,
10/7,
10,
7,
10/7,
1/8.
1/8. Whichever is earlier is the time of supply. So regarding 30%, time of supply is 25/6. Regarding 35%, time of supply is 10th July. Regarding remaining 35%, time of supply is 15/7. This one is your answer. Any query? Any query?
No, sir.
Anna? Good. Example 2. Date of provision of service 1st October 2023. Date of invoice 15th November 2023. Question is not telling the name of service. If question is silent, always consider 30 days. So Hanna, invoice is issued within prescribed time or after prescribed time? In this question, invoice is issued within prescribed time or after prescribed time?
सर आफ्टर प्रिस्क्राइब टाइम।
After prescribed time. Date of payment Date of receipt of payment. 50% on 15 September. 30% on 10th November. And remaining 20% on 25th December. Determine time of supply. Make it fast. Just write down your answer in chat box. As invoice are not issued within prescribed time. Therefore, time of supply shall be date of provision of service or date of payment, whichever is earlier. So regarding 50, 30, 20. What is the date of provision of service?
110.
110. What is the date of payment? Date of payment is 15/9. 10/11. 25/12. Whichever is earlier. Whichever is earlier is 15/9, 110, 110. Any ifs and buts? Any ifs and buts? Cleared or not? Say yes, beta. Clear or not? Last example. Date of provision of service 1st January 2024. Date of invoice 10th January 2024. Date on which payment is entered in books of account. 8th January 2024. Date on which payment is credited in bank account. 12th January 2024. Determine time of supply. Make it fast. Eighth January 24. Remaining 8th January. Perfect. As invoice is issued within prescribed time, therefore time of supply shall be date of invoice or date of payment, whichever is earlier. So what is my date of invoice? 10th January. What is the date of payment? Entry in books of account. 8th January. Credited in bank account. 12th January. Whichever is earlier. 8th January. So time of supply. If this one is A, this one is B, A or B, whichever is earlier. Oh, are you comfortable with the speed now?
सर ये जो आप ये कंसेप्ट करा रहे हैं सर, इस ये स्टडी मटेरियल में भी है ना सर?
हाँ जी बेटा।
सर ये जो आप कंसेप्ट सारे जो करा रहे हैं, तो ये सर स्टडी मटेरियल में भी है ना सर, ये जीएसटी वाले में?
हाँ, उतना डिटेल में नहीं मिलेंगे, वहाँ खाली हिंट होती है, डिटेल में मैं करवा रहा हूँ। स्टडी मटेरियल में क्रक्स होता है खाली, ठीक है?
हाँ जी।
चलो जी, नेक्स्ट सेक्शन 13(3). टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई ऑफ सर्विसेज RCM. बस, विल कंप्लीट इट इन 5 minutes ओनली। RCM में डेट on which recipient made the payment or invoice date plus 61 days. Remember 61. In case of goods, it's a 31st day. In case of service, it is 61st day. This one is the time of supply. Matter is over and out. In case of goods, you have to consider 3 things: date of receipt of goods, date on which payment is made, and invoice date plus 61 days. But in case of services, you have to consider only 2 things: date on which recipient made the payment and invoice date plus 61 day. I'm again repeating, RCM goods, you have to consider three things: date on which buyer received the goods, date on which buyer made the payment, and invoice date plus 31 days. But in case of services, you have to consider only two things. Number one, date on which recipient made the payment, and invoice date plus 61 day. Comfortable? Comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
13, 4, 5, 6. You let me know the answer. 13, 4 parallel to 12, 4. What is this? Voucher? Voucher? Parallel to 12, 5. What is this? Residuary cases?
जी.
Language is cut, copy, paste, same.
Addition
Parallel
in
to
value.
12, 6. Addition in value. So shall I again write it down for you, or you will be able to
Yes, sir.
cope up with this?
सर कॉपी कर लेंगे.
Understood, beta? 13, 4. Time of supply of voucher. Supply identifiable, date on which voucher is issued. Supply not identifiable, date on which voucher is redeemed. 13.5 residuary cases. Periodical return filed, due date of filing of return. Periodical return not filed, date on which tax is paid. 13.6 addition in value. Time of supply, date on which amount is actually received. This is the whole crux of time of supply in totality. So today we have completed two chapters. Number one, invoice, section 31. Number two, time of supply, section 12 and 13. किसकी क्वेरी थी बेटा ये? This query belongs to Shanta, Anna और अनुष्का?
सर शांता.
Shanta.
Thank you, sir. It was very, very clear, crystal clear.
Now what else you want to revise? Any chapter from your side, beta?
Sir, whatever you feel other chapters important from the exam point of view,
From
you
exam
can.
point of view, all are important.
I see. Right.
Actually, as far as 5 days are concerned, whatever technical topic, whatever is your query, whatever you are facing the problem, you may ask. Now what you want to revise, beta? Anushka? Any topic in GST, income tax, which you want to revise? Sure?
If nothing is there, the
Shall I?
place of supply can be covered, sir, if it's okay.
Place of supply? Done. So regarding place of supply, first we have to consider the nature of supply. Take the break of 2 to 3 minutes. And today I will be finishing beta nature of supply, intrastate supply and interstate supply. Okay?
ओके सर.
Break 2 to 3 minutes only. Huh? You need break or shall I carry on? Actually, time is running out.
सर कैरी ऑन.
You can carry on, sir.
Chalo. Just write down the heading. Type of supply. Make it fast beta. Speed तेज रखना.
ओके सर.
Time of supply, we have two type of supply. Intrastate supply and interstate supply. Let us discuss one by one. When a supply is treated as intrastate supply, any idea?
In the state.
When? location of supplier and place of supply. Location of buyer is not relevant. Location of supplier and place of supply located in same state or
Same locality.
बोल बेटा अमन
Sir, same locality.
same union territory. A supply shall deem to be intrastate supply when location of supplier and place of supply is located in same state or same union territory. In case of intrastate supply, two type of tax is levy. If it is state, then taxes levy shall be. If it is interstate, then taxes levy shall be. Any idea?
SGST, CGST.
CGST, SGST. If it is union territory, taxes levy shall be.
Sir, UTGS.
Very good. So a supply shall deem to be intrastate supply when location of supplier and place of supply is located either in same state or in same union territory, then supply is treated as intrastate supply. In case of intrastate supply, two type of taxes shall apply. Regarding state is concerned, CGST and SGST. Regarding UT is concerned, SGST and UT GST. Important note. Three union territories, Delhi, J&K and Puducherry. These three union territory treated as state. What is the importance of these three states? These three states have the state assembly, Vidhan Sabha. These three union territory have their own legislation, have their own state assembly, have their own chief minister. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
That's why they are treated as par with state. What does it mean? Which type of taxes apply?
State UT.
SGST, CGST or SGST. For remaining union territory, CGST and UTGST. Like Chandigarh, Daman Diu, Dadar Nagar, Andaman Nicobar. Any other union territory other than these three, CGST, UTGST, these three union territories treated as a state. Clear? Any problem in intrastate supply?
No, sir.
Shall I move on? Number two,
Yes.
what do you mean by intrastate supply? A supply shall deem to be intrastate supply when location of supplier or place of supply located in. अमन बता बेटा.
Located in other
In
other
two
state,
different
states
states
and
or two different
union territory
union territory or one state and another
state.
union territory. Location of supplier and place of supply located in two different states. Example, one in Punjab, another in Himachal, or in two different union territory. Example, one in Andaman, second in Chandigarh, or in one state and in another union territory. Example, Himachal and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Then supply shall be treated as interstate supply. Which type of taxes levy? Which type of taxes levy?
So
Any
CGST,
idea?
UTGST.
अरे
CGST,
भाई
UT.
IGST. In case of interstate supply, only one type of tax is levied. That one is IGST. In case of interstate supply, only one type of tax is levied. That is S. ठीक है ठीक है Following to supply. Following supply shall be treated as interstate supply. Following supply shall be treated as interstate supply accordingly. Chargeable to IGST. Following supply shall be treated as interstate supply accordingly chargeable to IGST. Number one, supply by or supply to SEZ. Supply by or supply to SEZ. Special Economic Zone. So supply by or supply to is known as interstate sale. Supply by or supply to SEZ by default treated as interstate supply, accordingly chargeable to IGST. And number two, supply in the course of import or export. Import export by default treated as interstate supply. Import export by default treated as interstate supply, accordingly chargeable to IGST. So crux of the matter, definition of interstate supply is quite larger. I'm repeating the whole definition. I'm repeating the whole definition of interstate supply. Listen me carefully. A supply shall deemed to be interstate supply when number one, location of supplier and place of supply is located in two different state or two different union territory or one state in another union territory. Number two, supply by or supply to SEZ. Number three, supply in the course of import or export. Comfortable?
Yes.
In case of interstate supply, only one type of tax is applied. That one is IGST. In case of interstate supply, only one type of tax apply. That one is IGST. Let us understand with the help of an example. Location of supplier. Place of supply. Nature of supply. And taxes levied. First, location of supplier. Second, place of supply. Third, nature of supply. Fourth, taxes levy. Location of supplier, let us say Delhi. Place of supply Delhi. Nature of supply Aman. Intra या inter? Aman. Anushka. Anna. Nature of supply
सर इंट्रा इंट्रा इंट्रा
intra. Delhi treated as state or union territory?
सर स्टेट में कंसिडर किया
State.
जाता है सर
So which type of taxes levy?
सर सीजीएसटी एसजीएसटी
Very good. Very good. Location of supplier Delhi. Sorry. Location of supplier Puducherry. Place of supply Puducherry. Na. Nature of supply intra or inter?
इंट्रा
Very good. Intra. And in GST, Puducherry is treated as state or union territory? In GST, under GST, status of Puducherry is
सर स्टेट सर स्टेट है
status of Puducherry. Anna.
सर वैसे यूनियन टेरिटरी है पर वैसे
है तो
उसको
practically union territory, but under GST treated as state. So
स्टेट
it
यस
means CGST plus SGST. Now, Delhi to Puducherry.
सर इंटर
Which supply is this?
सर इंटर
Inter. Which tax?
सर हमेशा आईजीएसटी
IGST only. Haryana to Delhi.
सर आईजीएसटी
Nature.
इंटर सर इंटर
Inter. Tax. IGST.
यस सर
Next beta. J&K to Kerala. Nature.
सर इंटर
Inter. Tax. IGST. Supplier is of USA. Place of supply is in Delhi. Importer. Supplier is of USA. Place of supply is in Delhi. Shanta. Nature of supply.
सर इंटर
State, sir.
Which type of tax?
सर आईजीएसटी
IGST. Vice versa. Supplier is of Delhi. Place of supply is of USA.
सर एक्सपोर्ट
Nature of supply.
सर इंटर सर आईजीएसटी
Good. IGST. Good. Comfortable?
हाँ जी
Now listen me carefully. Have you heard the name of Daman and Diu?
यस सर
Hmm?
यस सर
Have you heard the name of Dadar
और हवेली दादर
and
दादर
Nagar
हवेली
Haveli?
यस सर है
Have you heard this name?
यस सर
From 2019, it is treated as one union territory. This one is most important concept. Might be you are aware, beta. Might be you are not aware. From 2000, prior to 2019, Daman and Diu is separate union territory. Dadar and Nagar is separate union territory. These are considered as two separate union territories. But from 2019 and onward, these are considered as one union territory.
दामन
In
मंडी
practical life, geographically, these are two union territory geographically. In fact, Daman and Diu itself is two union territories, na? Daman and Diu
Yes.
itself is two different areas.
Yes, sir.
You know this? Distance between these two areas is approximately 200 kilometers. Now, at present, Daman and Diu and Dadar and Nagar Haveli is treated as one union territory, meaning thereby location of supplier Daman and Diu. Write down the full form. Place of supply Dadar and Nagar Haveli. DD means Daman and Diu. DNH Dadar and Nagar Haveli. Now, Anna, what is the nature of supply? Intrastate or interstate?
Sir, inter.
Intrastate या interstate? Answer is intra.
सर क्योंकि
Now
वन
these
टर्की है
two are the same ना.
कंट्री. यस सर, कंबाइंड हो गई.
अब combined हो गए ना बेटा. These two are treated as one union territory.
पहले डिफरेंट
From
थी, अलग अलग.
2019 and onward, these two are treated as one union territory. Say yes or no?
यस सर.
So tax is levied.
सर सीजीएसटी और एसजीएसटी, यूटीजीएसटी.
UTGST.
हाँ, यूनियन है ना, टेरिटरी.
Not able to understand. Concept is cleared or not?
सर क्लियर्ड.
Remaining all. Concept is cleared or not? At present, Daman and Diu and Dadar and Nagar Haveli is treated as one union territory. So any supply between them is treated as intrastate supply. Intrastate supply chargeable to CGST plus UTGST. Good. Another important amendment, all we know after removal of Article 370, J&K is treated as state and Ladakh is treated as
टेरिटरी.
union territory. As far as J&K is concerned, under GST treated as state, but in practical, it is treated as union territory. J&K in practical is union territory, but from GST point of view, it is treated as state. Ladakh is union territory. After removal of Article 370, J&K is divided into two categories, na beta? One is J&K, another is Ladakh. Good. So what is the nature of supply?
स्टेट यूनियन
What
टेरिटरी.
is the
सर
nature of
इंटर.
supply?
सर इंटर. सर इंटर.
Inter. Taxes levy.
यस सर, आईजीएसटी.
Very good. Any query from your side? Any query, beta? Shall I move on?
यस सर.
Last concept of the day. One word is SCZ.
स्पेशल
Special
इकोनॉमिक जोन.
Economic Zone. Another word is DTA. Have you heard this word? DTA?
सर यस. सर ट्रैफिक ट्रैफिक डोमेस्टिक टैरिफ एरिया.
Domestic Tariff Area. What is the meaning of DTA? What is the meaning of DTA? Area other than SCZ is known as DTA. SCZ के अलावा बाकी जो भी एरिया बच गया है वो DTA है. SCZ के अलावा बाकी जो भी एरिया बच गया वो DTA है. Let us understand with the help of diagram. This one is our geographical region India. Let us say this is our geographical region India. The dotted portion is SCZ. we have approx 43 SEZ, I think, in India. The dotted portion is SEZ. Other than dotted area, whatever be the area, this area is known as DTA. If the dotted area is SEZ, other than dotted area is known as DTA. So area other than SEZ is known as DTA. Now, question to you. Supply by SEZ to DTA. Supply by DTA to DTA. Sorry, DTA to SEZ and supply by SEZ to another SEZ. Just let me know the nature of supply. SEZ supplying goods or services to DTA. Is it intrastate or interstate?
Interstate.
Sorry?
Inter.
Always by default treated as interstate. Let us say SEZ is in Noida, DTA is in Lucknow. Both are situated in UP. Still supply is interstate supply, and which type of tax levy?
IGST.
IGST. I am again repeating. Suppose SCZ is in Noida, UP, and supply made to Kanpur DTA.
UP.
Kanpur is in UP, Noida is in UP, but supply would be treated as
Interstate.
interstate supply, accordingly chargeable to IGST. What about second, DTA to SCZ?
Sir, interstate.
Inter.
Again, this one is interstate supply. Just look at this. Supply by or supply to. Supply by or supply to SCZ is treated as interstate supply. So first one is supply by. Am I right now? Or second one is supply to. Interstate supply chargeable to IGST. And this one is also interstate supply chargeable to IGST. Whenever SCZ is there, either at buyer side or at supplier side, supply would be treated as interstate supply. Whenever SCZ is there, either at supplier side or at buyer side, always treated as interstate supply chargeable to IGST. That is all for today. Next class, I will be considering beta place of supply. Another important chapter from exam point of view. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So finally, tata, bye bye. Is the class fruitful?
Yes, sir. Very.
Thank you, sir.
Chalo, bye. So next class we will be doing beta place of supply